everybody, Marijuana Man here. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of The Grow Show, produced down here in the basement at the Cannabis Culture headquarters at Pot TV. We like to call it the lungs of the operation. Well, I thought since my last few shows have been doing a lot of bitching about the prohibitionists and the bullshit that they're up to, that maybe I should step up to the plate and offer some sort of solution to all of this. So I'd like to offer what I'd like to think of as the end of prohibition and how cannabis can be brought into our society in a normal and peaceful way. I really think that we should be able to have coffee shops to sell weed like they do in Amsterdam, although I think coffee shops maybe not the right word. It'd be confusing a little bit. So a cannabis cafe, let's say. So you get a license to open a cannabis cafe, and that would include and require a little more than any other normal business license would require. And if you were going to sell some food, you would then need some appropriate food license and inspection thereof. I really don't think these cafes need to be involved with alcohol, and there certainly should be a hard policy regarding harder drugs like cocaine and heroin. You cannot allow this to be going on as well. Now, I don't think that these things are for minors either. I don't believe minors should be allowed in there. I've been to many, many coffee shops in Holland, and I've never seen a kid anywhere. So that works. Keeps it away from the children right away. Now, they can get into it later on in life, but for now, no minors. I think they should have operating hours that would be very similar to the alcohol bars. No reason to necessarily be open 24 hours, but noise bylaws and all the same things apply. Now, it gets tricky, let me tell you folks. When I was sitting down trying to think of all of the ramifications of the end of prohibition of cannabis, it gets very tricky because prohibition has played a huge role in how this substance is in our society today. It's in the black market, and the black market is big, powerful, and well entrenched. Difficult to suggest that you could even disband it at this point, but you could certainly reap the benefits from it financially and socially if you did repeal prohibition. Now, the price, this is going to be one of the tricky things. A lot of people smoke pot already. Like everybody who does smoke pot already smokes it in the black market. There is no place else. Medicinal, we'll talk about that in a moment, but in terms of recreational use, everybody's smoking black market weed. So, price is going to have to be competitive with that, I would have to think. There's no reason why a consumer who could, say, get a bag of weed for $200 an ounce would go into a cafe where it would be twice that price. There's no reason to disband the relationship you have with the guy you get it from, or he to disband from where he gets it from. So the black market would not disappear or be even probably dented in that scenario. Tourism and such, and there's probably lots of people not getting weed for $200 an ounce, but still, Amsterdam's way more than twice that price for weed. It is expensive. They're the only place in the world where you can do it. But I'm not certain that they even have a huge tax on it. So, now the amount of weed that these people deal with too, the cafe is going to have a supply of marijuana. So there's going to be commercial growers that would have to be licensed, just like you would license any other food producer, blueberries or tomatoes or I don't know. There's no reason in my mind whatsoever to put any luxury tax or any frightening tax on this substance. It has been the prohibitionists who have made up all the lies about this plant and the effects thereof. I really, in my heart, don't believe that it is dangerous at all or would have ever needed a tax had it been left alone. But there's still going to have to be some regulation here. Commercial growers would have to be inspected for safety and bugs and pesticides and all that other stuff. Same way any other food would be. Now, the amount that they can produce here is a tricky part, because if you're a licensed grower and you just grow as much as you want, then that could easily provide another black market. Like if the United States doesn't play along and legalize pot, then it'd be just flooding over the border by truckloads produced by everybody in the province, probably. But at any rate, there would have to have some sort of check and balance on all this, how much is being produced given how much is being sold in the cafes. But beyond that, I think there should be as many cafes and as many licensed growers as the market will bear, or maybe one more than the market will bear, so you'll know what the market will bear. But it'd be tricky. Cafes could only buy from licensed producers, so the licensing of the producer is not a big deal. It's not like there'd be a finite number of producers. If there's more producers than they are producing pot for the market, then that's what the market will bear. But there could be like some consortium amongst the growers, like they do in the wheat industry. Everybody pools it together. It's called the wheat pool. This would be the pot pool. They'd pool it together, the cafes would get it there. There'd be no reason why a licensed grower couldn't sell directly to any licensed cafe. It'd be no more complicated than that.